Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back to the range. Today we're going to do another exciting video testing the ballistics of 10mm. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. Alright, so today we are going to be testing our M&P and our Smith Wesson FPC, and we're going to be shooting it with the Underwood 155 grain XTP bullet. Now, these have been tested before, but not with these guns perhaps, and not in these conditions. So we're going to see how this bullet performs. Now, this is something that I'm seriously considering with carrying as a personal defense round out of both of these guns in sort of a get home scenario. So I want to check it out. I want to see how it performs in the ballistic gel, and I want to see how it performs with accuracy. Let's first talk a little bit about the handguns that we have today. We have the Smith Wesson M&P 2.0 10mm 4-inch model. I had one of these a long time ago, and I've done a new review on it with this new gun, and it seems to be performing pretty well. So we're going to continue to test and see with self-defense ammunition, how does this gun perform? How does it behave? Does it cycle it? Does it run it? Because again, the first one I had was a piece of smoking dog turd, and this one seems to be pretty awesome. So super excited about it. Then we're also going to be testing the Smith Wesson FPC, which I absolutely love. We got a couple of things going on with the Smith Wesson FPC that I did want to show. First, we have the M Carbo rail on top here. So it comes with aluminum charging handle, and it comes with this rail. Also, one thing that it does is it changes off the lockup on this. So as you can see, it does have a new locking system. So you actually press down on that, and that releases this gun in order to get out of its compact folded variety. So yep, pretty good. Doesn't take long to get used to. And again, this is our charging handle down here. All right, so that's the new setup, and we have our optic mounted just a little bit closer back. I never really liked it out on the front for some reason. This seems to be good. It's integrated into the screws for the system, again, from M Carbo. I have no relationship with them, but a pretty cool option that one of you, can't remember who, sorry about that, let me on to that they have released that, and it works for the 10mm version, and we're going to be putting that to the test. We're going to be doing our traditional gel testing with 2 layers of t-shirt, 2 layers of denim, 2 inches of ballistic gelatin, followed by 1/4 inch of medium density fiberboard, then a whole bunch more of ballistic gel. We'll see how it expands. We'll shoot 1 round from each of these firearms into the gel test, and then we will pull all of that off, and then we will see how the ammunition performs without any clothing or medium density fiberboard, just to get a baseline and how it performs in the clear ballistic gel by itself. Okay, that's our test setup. That's what we're going to be doing today. Let's get to shooting. Okay, well, up first we have the Smith Wesson 4-inch, and again we have the layers of t-shirt, layers of denim, 2 inches of clear ballistics, followed by the 1/4 inch medium density fiberboard, followed by more of our clear ballistic gelatin. Let me get this camera started, and we'll get our first test going. All right, 1327. Let's go down, see what we got. All right, well, the bullet came in here through our layers of t-shirt, through our layers of denim. Absolutely started fragmenting even. Yeah, we got fragments coming out into there. Fragmenting in our initial block, and absolutely destroyed my medium density fiberboard. Usually I can get several shots on this. I'm trying a different smaller board, and that didn't work very well, so we'll have to go grab another one. And then got excellent expansion, very good, and out to about, I'm going to say about the 16-inch mark. Let me go grab my measuring stick. And we got all the way out to about, let me get parallel with that, just about the 15.5, 16-inch mark. Let me pull this off so you can see where it landed. Yep, did very, very nice, hollow, pointy things. Looks fantastic in that gelatin. Exactly the type of result that I was hoping for. Let's take a look at how that XTP expanded out of the Smith & Wesson 4-inch M&P 2.0. Well, let's make sure we're zeroed and then get a measurement out here. About 0.6, 0.5975 seems to be about the widest spot that I'm going to find on this. Very nice expansion, especially the XTP. XTPs don't get terrific expansion, but that's good enough for us. Now let's see what we get out of the Smith & Wesson FPC. All right, well, we've got the 155 grain Underwood XTP with our Smith & Wesson FPC. See how we do. It blew up my contraption. Well, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. I hit it in the upper corner. I really want to shoot that again because I don't understand the result. The bullet's sitting at about 6 inches into the gel. So that doesn't make any sense to me. Looks like it had horrific bounce back, case separation, all of that kind of crap going on. Probably overexpanded is my guess, maybe in this 10mm carbine. So yeah, why don't we try and reshoot that and see if we can get it more into the center of the gel. I didn't hit my contraption, just the gel expanding broke my contraption from the velocity of this thing. So I'm sure this will probably finish it off even more, but yep, here we go. All right. Oh, jeez, and I forgot yet again to press slow-mo. This is not my day. That time we captured it. It's going 1,800 feet per second. That's pretty impressive. Okay, guys, this is our block. It just absolutely ripped through this. We're gonna have to try and get a few different looks. In our first 2 inches, it was already well expanding. We had fragments of lead coming out, absolutely kind of destroying my holder block. I'm gonna have to rebuild that. I'm not looking forward to that. Then we can see with 2 shots, maybe you can't see very well, this is where our first bullet is at about 4 inches, so maybe that's like 6 inches. It went all the way down all the way to a foot and bounced back to about the 5-inch mark. And the second shot that went right into the gel, it landed and stayed at about the 9-inch mark. Those things, this is going way too fast out of that FPC. This is why we test this. We see we got little lead fragments even in between laying on the ground here of our medium density fiberboard. It just went absolutely insane. Let me dig these out. I mean, it's not going to over penetrate your quote unquote subject, but let's just take a look at this. This gel block had it. I'm going to have to use my other gel block. Look at that mangled mess that we have here. I mean, there's not much left of that. We got some jacket separation, but there's really not much lead left. It's just all over the place in there. Let me get the second shot that we did. Again, we didn't get total case head separation, but absolutely insane. Way too fast for this XTP. It stayed together, but it's not getting enough penetration because it's just going too fast for that round. Going 1,800 feet per second with that. We got 7.5 with the one and yeah, 0.75 with the other. Both of them just really, really crazy expansion. Let me get a different angle on that. Look at these rounds. Just absolutely torn up. I'd say that's not a great round for the FPC. It needs probably a more traditional 180 grain is what I would guess. Okay, well, just because I never captured it before, I'm going to try and capture it. Here we go. Slow motion camera's on. Let's see if we can capture it. I don't think there's much point in it, but here we go. Wowza. Wowza. We got 1758 that time. That thing is going super fast. Too fast. I had to use my catch block, but this explosion right here is really where it was at and went out to right there. Again, this is just keeps doing the same thing. It's just essentially exploding more and more. So out to about 10 inches. With the clothing, it did even more than that. So, you know, maybe the clothing slowed it down and medium density fiberboard slowed it down just a little bit, but, or helped, you know, didn't cause it to explode quite as much. But I'd still say that that's, yeah, I mean, that's a home wrecker right there. I mean, that would put a whole massive cavity in the first few inches of someone. You may choose that. I'd like it to do a little bit more traditional stuff. I know some of y'all like the grenading ones. So if I'm going to get a grenading one, though, I'm going to get one that grenades, like the Liberty Overwatch grenades on purpose would be probably my choice. But I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Maybe you like it. All right, well, we've got our 4-inch Smith Wesson M&P 2.0. Got 5 rounds of that 155 grain XTP from Underwood loaded up. We'll see what we get in terms of a little bit more information on our chronograph here. Okay, for our session summary, we got a min of 1331, an average of 1363, a max of 1391, and an average kinetic energy of 640 energy foot-pounds. Now that's pretty good energy foot-pounds for a self-defense round. Maybe would have expected even a little more with a light 4 caliber grain weight, but it's still pretty good, 10 millimeter round. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Standard deviation of 20.5. All right, let's test it out with the FPC. All right, well, we've got our FPC. I'm starting to run out of rounds, and I still want to do a little bit of accuracy testing with the handgun. So we'll just get 3 shots. We did get a couple. This is around 1,800 feet per second. So I'll just shoot a couple more and see what we get at the muzzle instead of at the point of impact, with just a couple of feet off of it. So, yeah. So again, literally just a couple of shots, but for our min, it was 1795, average of 1802, which is right where I expected it. Average kinetic energy of 1118. So 1118. That's pretty good out of a 10 millimeter carbine. Like, that's what I was getting out of my AR. So yeah, for those of you, if you know, you know. All right, we just have 4 rounds and we're at 10 yards, which is where we should be shooting with the 10 millimeter. So we'll see how we do with this ammunition. We'll see where it prints. I'm curious to where it prints relative to our range ammo. Yeah, low and left. Oh, we did get a failure. We got a failure. Oh, so much. So much. That was a failure to feed. Failure to feed. We'll shoot this round now. That is not a good sign. Smith & Wesson, uh-oh. Maybe I won't be carrying this. We'll see. We will see. Don't. All right, that's our 4-shot group at 10 yards, which for me isn't bad. Interesting how that next one, after I shot that and had the issue, I came back up and shot it up here. That was the 4th round, so yeah. All right, let's shoot a couple rounds with the FPC and see where it's at on there. Okay, now with the FPC, we'll see how it does. Just have 3 shots. Yeah, a little bit of jerking around by me. But, yeah, not bad. Not bad. Curious, my group was better with my handgun, obviously, but yeah, not bad. I mean, it's fine. It's not zeroed, all of those things. Definitely is the shooter, but I think it's acceptable. Look, it's not throwing these bullets sideways or anything like that, which is an important part of our paper test that we like to look at. They're coming out of the muzzle fine. Probably just going a little too fast out of this FPC. All right, well, today we had out our 10mm again, and we tested out the Underwood 155 grain XTP. We saw that out of the handgun, it performed really well in our ballistic test. And yes, I didn't shoot the handgun into just the pure ballistics or clear ballistics without any clothing or medium density fiberboard, because I felt at that point the test wasn't really necessary. I am looking for a set of rounds that I can run out of my handgun and out of my Smith Wesson carbine. I'm not so sure that in the FPC, I'm not so sure that this is really the round that I'm going to choose, because it's getting way too much velocity. I mean, that's awesome. That's really cool. Wish I'd caught more of those gel shots of it just exploding and imploding inside there, but it's not doing what I would rather it do. I would rather it get a little bit more penetration. That's for me personally. You all may feel differently. Again, if I want an exploding one, I want the Liberty Civil Defense Overwatch bullet, which I think is actually a great round for this, and I may end up carrying that. But for now, I just want to see if there are some other traditional jacketed hollow point rounds that are out there. This is loaded nice and hot. Again, 1,100 energy foot-pounds out of the rifle, 600 and something out of the pistol. That's not to laugh at. That's a lot of good energy that's coming out of it. But then at the end, we had some disappointing. Now, all right, well, with that said, let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the 155 grain. Is this one that you think is a good one because you like that fragmenting and big bullets stopping in there like that? It's putting a whole lot of energy foot-pounds in a very short amount of area. That's really going to knock someone over. You have low risk of it over penetrating out of that rifle. So that may be something that you like. Or do you want something that penetrates a little bit more and behaves a little bit more like a traditional jacketed hollow point? Let me know in the comments below. Hope everyone has a great week, and let's get to shooting. From pistols to rifles, I'll see where it prints. I'm curious to where it prints relative to our range in. Low and left. The Second Amendment protects from the crown. Oh, we did get a failure. I'm trying a... We're on ice, guys. We're on ice. I forgot to turn on the slow motion camera. Idiot. Conceal, carry wisdom, good guy with